I'm Scott Allen Miller. This is Sam IT. We're going to talk about IBM killing off CentOS. Okay, so first of all, I'm an ex-IBMer. I worked on CentOS and RHEL at IBM 20 years ago. So this topic kind of hits a soft spot for me because I have been tied to IBM and I have been tied to RHEL and CentOS for a really huge portion of my career. And I have to say, IBM's recent announcement, let me back up and say what that announcement is. IBM has announced, for those who have had their heads in the sand and not paid attention recently, IBM has decided to kill off CentOS, CentOS being the free clone of RHEL. Some people will argue that it's not a clone. It is a clone in every reasonable sense of the word. Everybody refers to it as a clone. Its purpose is to be RHEL, but free. Obviously, without the branding in RHEL, that just goes without saying. Originally, RHEL, or Red Hat Enterprise Linux, was a paid product that you had to get through Red Hat. IBM bought Red Hat. They also bought the CentOS project, which was just a community-driven project to take all of the source code for RHEL and recompile it as a clone to be identical as possible to RHEL for completely free, right? So IBM brought all of that into the fold and made it part of IBM. There's some other things that have happened in the meantime, such as the introduction of CentOS Stream, which is kind of a halfway between CentOS and Fedora. Fedora being a rapid release product that comes out every 6 months. CentOS and RHEL being a long-term support release that comes out every few years without a really strict schedule. CentOS Stream was an attempt to kind of bring a lot of the Fedora advantages of later, newer package updates into CentOS so that you had kind of a stable base of CentOS with the modernization of Fedora. Some people like it, whatever. What's important is that tons and tons of products have depended on RHEL for application stability for a long time. Not stability of the product, but stability of the ability to deploy software, something that we actually generally frown upon, but that is a completely different discussion. RHEL is the big dog in the enterprise Linux world. CentOS is the most deployed version of this. IBM came out of nowhere with CentOS is done. They're keeping Fedora, they're keeping CentOS Stream, which is a different thing, but CentOS as the clone of RHEL is gone with no replacement being offered by IBM. I'm going to put this as terrifyingly stupid is my projection as to how bad this is going to play out for IBM. From my perspective, IBM has left the market. That's how dramatic this is. IBM seems to have given up, and I don't even know what they're thinking, or if they're thinking at all. Maybe they have some strategy that they haven't told us, but everybody I've talked to agrees with one thing. If IBM had a strategy for not alienating their market, they blew it because they didn't tell anyone what it is, and everyone's already upset, to the point where basically everyone is already talking about how they've left IBM. They have a strategy for not working with IBM anymore. It's already too late for IBM to probably win a lot of them back. This is bad, right? From an IBM perspective, from an IT customer perspective, looking at IBM, they're no longer a player to me. I have no reason to consider Fedora because I don't have any faith that IBM is going to keep it around. I have no reason to use CentOS Stream because I never had a reason to use it before, right? It's such a weird spot in the market. I don't ever want something like a RHEL unless I'm running applications that depend on it, and I can no longer trust that IBM has any faith in RHEL itself. By getting rid of CentOS, we really got to wonder what IBM plans to keep around. Sure, we can make an argument that why would they keep RHEL? The things that they're doing suggest that they're planning on keeping Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and that's probably true. But the things they were doing just a few months ago suggested that CentOS wasn't going anywhere. And now we don't know what's going on at IBM. The one thing that we are sure of is that they are not listening to their customers and they're not acting rationally. I guess that was two things. So what is the ramifications of this? First of all, people are flooding out of IBM's ecosystem, or at least say that they are, right? Very few people are ripping and replacing operating systems in the first week or two of an announcement. Except that's not actually true. I've talked to Fortune 10 companies that are literally changing their Linux deployment strategies within days of this announcement. So this is actually affecting potential IBM customers, and big ones. Small companies, yes, we're also starting to reconsider where those things be deployed, but small companies weren't deploying RHEL and CentOS all that much, especially not RHEL. Those that were deploying CentOS often don't deploy very often, and their changes are going to come a lot more slowly. But even saying that we don't expect there to be changes really fast, I'm actually personally seeing in my own little ecosystem changes actually happening pretty quickly. Now, what are people going to do though? So we know a certain amount of the market, and there is actually a poll of a fair number of companies that gives kind of a feel. And what we've seen is numbers around 38% of respondents are saying that they're simply going to leave the entire Red Hat ecosystem lock, stock, and barrel, and they're looking at Debian, they're looking at Ubuntu, they're looking at SUSE. Right, these are the big players. They may be looking at Arch, they may be looking at something else, but these are the main operating systems that they're going to move to. Those who are not looking to leave the ecosystem completely are almost all looking at one of three alternatives. One is Rocky Linux. So the original founder of CentOS, within the same day, came out and said he was basically restarting the CentOS project. He doesn't have the right to use the name anymore, so the name is now Rocky Linux, but it is, for all intents and purposes, the original CentOS project back again. So while IBM didn't manage to actually kill it off, they only managed to kill it off from them having any say whatsoever or any benefits from it. At least having CentOS in-house gave IBM a way to capture those customers and simply move them into RHEL if they decided to use those workloads in that way. Now that there's Rocky Linux, they have lost that pipeline. And people who are deploying things like Rocky Linux are not going to think, ooh, I'm running like a light version of an IBM product, or I'm running an unsupported version and I can pay for support if I want. That's no longer going to occur to them. They're going to be like, I run the Rocky Linux. How is that related to IBM? It's not. Second is Cloud Linux. Now, Cloud Linux makes a product today that is not free and is not CentOS. It's close, but it is not. They are working on a new project called Project Linux, which is a terrible name, and they should have learned from other projects in the Linux space that have tried that in the past and need to just come up with a better name. But nevertheless, Project Linux is designed to essentially do the same thing as well, create a community-driven, free clone of RHEL that will mimic what CentOS was. Both of these will be binary compatible with each other. You'll be able to use all of them interchangeably with whatever CentOS still remains until it disappears. And the third major option is, and has long been, Oracle Linux. Oracle makes their own version of RHEL. It is taken directly from RHEL, just like CentOS was, but unlike CentOS, Oracle Linux is a single distribution that provides a completely free version and a supported version. So it's kind of like CentOS and RHEL merged together, but under the Oracle umbrella. And they also offer some upgrades over IBM's products with, for example, different kernel options. So because that's free or paid, it's actually a really good option for companies that maybe needed RHEL in the past or were using CentOS with the thought that they might move to RHEL sometime in the future. And Oracle has a direct migration path. So if you're running CentOS today, you just run a command and you've moved over to Oracle. It's that simple. You don't even have to reinstall. So these options are really strong, and it's hard to imagine why IBM would have played the card that they did, because they must have been aware that this kind of backlash was going to happen instantly within their user base, and that really good alternative options that are either identical to CentOS in every reasonable way, or pull people completely away from the RHEL CentOS family of systems, are all going to be things that people are going to consider. And that moving from CentOS to RHEL and paying IBM after IBM has sowed this level of distrust in their market is just not reasonably going to happen. There might be some company that does that, but it's hard to believe it's going to be more than background noise. Given that RHEL has been under heavy attack from the Ubuntu space for the last several years, This seems like a really weird time for IBM to have made this kind of play, unless their plan is to eliminate their Linux investment completely, which would kind of make sense, and just accept that Ubuntu won that part of the market. It is nice having two major players who are able to innovate against each other and take different approaches. So we don't actually want IBM to leave the market and just let Ubuntu take over. That's not necessarily good, but we have to be realistic. Ubuntu is now the market leader in almost every way within the space. And so RHEL doing anything to alienate customers, almost all RHEL customers have been sitting on the fence and considering moving to Ubuntu for a long time. I know for me myself, I have been focused on RHEL and CentOS for a huge portion of my career, and I've never been a fan of Ubuntu in any real way. And in the last couple years, I have started moving the majority of my deployments and workloads to Ubuntu because it has a lot of advantages. It is used so much more broadly in the market. It gets faster innovation and more options more quickly. And I don't have to worry about weird things like CentOS has or RHEL has because of their long-term support model with how Fedora and CentOS and RHEL are all split in weird ways. Ubuntu is just Ubuntu. Yes, there's a long-term release and a short-term release, a rapid release, but they are transparently part of the same ecosystem. And so even for diehard RHEL fans like myself, Ubuntu has been increasingly attractive. So we're seeing already this trend. IBM has now really accelerated it. What was IBM thinking? We can only imagine. But you have options. You have 3 minimum really excellent options, with one of them being 100% ready today. That is Oracle Linux. If you need to move off of CentOS right now, just move to Oracle. They will take care of you. Paid or free, doesn't matter. And if you have time to wait and you're looking for what you're going to do in the future, you have Rocky Linux and you have whatever Project Linux ends up being called. They will probably not be very long before they are available. And of course, consider simply leaving RHEL or CentOS altogether. Ubuntu is a wonderful option. SUSE is a wonderful option, not very popular in North America, but it is very good product. And Debian itself, not as popular as the others, but it does have a very large following and it's very stable and advanced. So lots of options. Thanks for joining me. I'm Scott Allen Miller, and I will see you next time.
NTG, supporting business and technology globally since 1999.